So, Christmas. I've got a little Christmas quiz for you. Let's have the first picture. So, first of all, can you name these people? Who are these people? Top left-hand side with the glasses. Who's that? Josh Widdicombe, comedian Josh Widdicombe. Next to Josh Widdicombe? Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer. Bottom on the far side? Alexander Armstrong. And next to him on this side? Oh, the tricky one. Anyone? Matthew Pinsent, the Olympic rower. Yeah? So, my question for you, what do those four people have in common? They're all men. They're all white men. True. Anything else? Famous. I'll give you a clue. TV program. Not quite. Although you did say a question, and the question is correct. Who do you think you are? They've all appeared on Who Do You Think You Are? What do they all have in common when they appeared on Who Do You Think You Are? Anyone know? They're all related to the royal family. All four of those are descended from kings or queens. So, Josh Widdicombe, descendant of Edward I and Anne Boleyn, not so fortunate that one. Danny Dyer, Edward III, Alexander Armstrong, very appropriately, William the Conqueror, and Matthew Pinsent, also from Edward I. They're all descended from royalty. Somewhat distantly, but they're all descended. And it's not just them. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is a descendant of King John, not the best king the country's ever had. Hugh Grant is descended from Henry VII and James IV of Scotland. Johnny Depp was 20th cousin to Queen Elizabeth II. 20th cousin. Greg Davies, a comedian related to Owen Gwynedd, the Prince of Wales. Boris Johnson to George II. Meghan Markle to Robert the Bruce of Scotland. That explains the tension. John Lennon, Owen Glendower, the Welsh king. And you could go on and on and on. These people are all descended from royals. Is that surprising? It shouldn't be. If you have English ancestry, you are related to the royal family. All of you with English ancestry will have some connection. 20th cousin. You're probably closer than that to people sitting in this room, but we're all related to royals. So, but I was aware of this, but I was surprised by a headline I saw this morning just before leaving. I got a picture of it. New royal revealed. As it says in the story, ancestry experts were left stunned yesterday as it was revealed a new member of the royal family has been found. There is a new member of the royal family. It is understood that protection teams have already been dispatched and a meeting at Windsor is being planned soon. This is astonishing. Although the name of the new royal is not yet known, it is understood they currently live in the area around Newcastle under Lyme. What? In Staffordshire. Experts believe this could change everything in terms of the line of succession, and the implications of this remain unclear. There's a new member of the royal family in Newcastle under Lyme. Now, I got a picture of the headline, but I also got a picture of the person. Kids, do you want to see who the new member of the royal family is? Thomas, do you want to see? Come and have a look here. You will see. If you want to, you can come and join Thomas. You can have a look. Who is the new member of the royal family? Are you surprised? Wow. Anyone else want to see who the new member of the royal family is? Come and have a look. Wow. What? Are you all surprised? Who is it? It's you. You're the new royal. Who's the picture? Have a look in there. Let me just move that. Look at that. Who's it? I recognize that person. Who was it? Who was the new member of the royal family? It was you. A new member of the royal family in Newcastle under Lyme. Now that's really what Christmas is all about, you know. It's actually about that. You can still go and have a look. It's still there. The picture is still there. I'm going to move that so that I don't see myself the whole time and someone else can see themselves. Right, so Christmas is all about that. There is a new member of the royal family. Christmas is not really about presents. Did you know that? That's not really what Christmas is about. Christmas is not about presents because it's about presents. Does that make sense? It's not really about presents, it's about presents. What? It's not about presents, it's about presence. It's about the presence of God, the King, in the world, that he has come. Now, imagine if you got all the presents you wanted, all the gifts, but the person who was giving them to you wasn't there. If it was just you sitting home with your Christmas tree and loads of presents and nobody else there. Is that a good Christmas? Not really. You need the presence of the people to make the presents worth anything at all. It's the presence, the second one, that is most important. Now, talking of royals and presents, did you know in medieval palaces, we'll get a picture up, there was always this grand room called the presence chamber. That's the presence chamber in Windsor Castle. That's where, if you were going to the castle, the king or the queen would be in the presence chamber and you would be allowed to enter into their presence in the presence chamber. But in those palaces, behind, there was a group of rooms called the privy rooms. Only the privy councillors could go in there, but everyone else, if they were allowed and they were important, could go into the presence chamber. And then you couldn't talk to the king, but the king might talk to you. You were just allowed in their presence. Now, we might think of the church as like a presence chamber, or the world as a presence chamber. We go there and we are in the presence of the king. But the real presence chamber, we know from Christmas, doesn't look like that. It looks like this. That's the presence chamber. That's where we go to meet with the king. Not in some grand castle with gold and silver and all this sort of thing, but in a stable. That's where the king was present. We know that. So, this bit is more for the grown-ups. What does this mean for us, really, now, here? What it means is our king, since Christmas, is no longer found in places of privilege and grandeur and honor. He's not found in promotions and offices with your name on the door. He's not found in a seat in the boardroom. That's not where the king is present. Well, that's not only where he's present. He's not found in popularity and fame and wealth, those things that we can spend so much of our life chasing after. What we know now is the king is forever in the place of the small and the lowly and the vulnerable. That's where our king is. He's not in the place of grandeur, he's in the place of vulnerability. He's in the lowest place, the place of vulnerability and weakness and defenselessness. So sometimes people say that Christmas is really for children. Now, I've been thinking about that, and I think maybe this is truer than we might think. Because inside each and every one of us, there's still a child. You don't know this when you're a child, but when you're an adult, you learn this pretty quickly. there's still a child inside you. Inside the adult, there's always still a child. And you might look like an adult outwardly, but inside you know that child is there. And sometimes we seek to hide that child, we seek to silence that child. That child might be happy, by all means. If it's you and that child is happy and that home is integrated, then God bless you. But the little boy or the little girl inside people in this room might not be so at home as they should be. That little boy or girl might still be hanging on to things that happened to them a long, long time ago. They might still be holding on to things where they didn't get it when everyone else did, when they felt left out or they felt unlovable, when they felt behind or abandoned or isolated or alone, or when something happened to them that shouldn't have happened to them. That child is still inside us. We carry that child with us everywhere. We might try and wear a disguise and look like an adult, but it doesn't always quite work. Because there's still the child inside. And you sometimes think it's just you. Everyone else seems to have it together. Everyone else knows what's happening. And social media amplifies this lie 1,000 times over. Everyone else has got it together. Look at their life. Maybe it's just me who doesn't really know what's going on. Maybe it's just me who feels that something is out of place and that something is me. I suspect that's a lot of us. Everyone else can feel grown up and capable in control, and we're thinking, I don't really know what's going on. I might be in my 50s or my 60s, but I'm still just busking it and hoping to get by. Sometimes we might feel, that child inside might feel they don't quite fit in. Everyone else knows what's going on, but you don't quite fit in. I know exactly how that boy feels. I don't know about you. I am that boy. In a room full of people being all serious and grown up and all looking the same and confident and competent, and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't get it. I don't really get it. I think that's not just me. I think that's a lot of us. Excuse me. Now, Martin challenged us last week about our priority for the year ahead. To seek first the kingdom of God and to steep ourselves like a tea bag in water, to steep ourselves in his priorities, and we'll find we don't miss out. Now, I'm going to add to that in terms of what we can do this year to bring ourselves closer to God. The world tells us that the way to deal with our hurts and our pains and our brokenness is to distract ourselves from them. Just don't think about them. Get something to distract you from that stuff. The drink, the drugs, the inappropriate relationships, the inappropriate websites, the scramble after money, the vacant staring at the screen again and again and again. Anything to distract ourselves. It doesn't work. What we do, we play peekaboo with our problems. Do you know why children like peekaboo? Because when they do that, they think the other person's disappeared. They're gone. Or they're still here. We do that with our problems. We think if we just turn away for a minute, the problems are gone. And we look back and the problems are still there. We play peekaboo with our problems and it doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. Or what the world tells us is to fill that hole. You can fill that hole with something. Money, fame, wealth, whatever. That doesn't work either, and we know that. Have you seen the end of Lord of the Rings, where he's dropping the ring into the volcano? Can you imagine trying to fill up that volcano with a pebble at a time? How long is it going to take you to fill that volcano? It's not going to work, because every stone you throw in is going to get melted anyway. You try and fill that hole inside yourself, you will not do it. You try and distract yourself from that hole, you will not do it. But those are the ways the world says we should deal with our problems. It doesn't work. The issues are still there, the heartbreak, the shyness, the self-doubt, the wounding, the fear, the voice that tells us we're not good enough. That voice that says, if only I was more, then he would have stayed. If only I'd been better, she would have loved me more. And we hold on to those things. You can't distract yourself for long, and you can't fill that hole. And those feelings will eat away at us if we're not careful. So we wear the mask, and we try and look grown up, and we try and look competent, and inside we're not. But God has another plan. And this is my challenge for the new year. We know God is to be found in the stable, in the place of vulnerability, in the lowest place. That's where God is to be found. So my challenge to myself and to all of us this year, we don't need to come to God with just the best bits showing. We don't just come to God dressed in our Sunday finest, with our best presentable bits. That's not what it's about. If we do that, I suspect God will look at us with a little smile and just, okay, what about the rest? Give me the rest. We try and just give him our best. He wants the rest. So, this year, my challenge to myself and to us is to give God my worst. I am going to give God my worst this year. The bits that I hide away, the bits that I don't want to deal with, the bits I'm ashamed of, the bits I want to hide, I'm going to give those to God. Those will be my offerings as I approach the King in the stable. This is what I have. This is what I am. And give those to God. Because I think that's the only way we're ever going to find life. It's the only way. So I want to finish just by looking at that psalm again that we heard read to us by Abby. And just think about what this will mean if we live in this way this year. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Whatever your fears are, fears of rejection, fears of incapability, whatever those fears are, fears of illness, fears of death, he delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. We have to let go of the shame this year. Shame will keep us locked in, and shame will keep us divided. We have to face God, and we'll be never covered with shame. This poor man called, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles. All of them, no exceptions. All his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. If there was a new member of the royal family, do you not think there'd be an instant police protection unit sent out to guard that person? What happens when we come to the king? Instant protection units sent to guard us. He will deliver us. He will take us to a safe place where there's no danger of harm or attack or risk. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Now, I suspect quite a few of us have been doing some tasting over the last 2 weeks or so. We've been doing a little bit of eating. Do you realize every time you eat, you exercise faith? Is this really going to be okay for me? Will I be poisoned if I eat this? Is it good for me? There's only one way to find out, and that's to eat it. And then there will be a consequence. It will either make you sick, or it will bring you health and life. So taste and see. Taste and see the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. He is big enough for us to hide behind, like a child hiding behind its parent. We can find refuge in him. Fear the Lord, you his holy people, for those who fear him lack nothing. Nothing. They have everything. The lions may grow weak and hungry. Those things that would attack you and consume you, they're going to go hungry. But you will lack no good thing. Come, my children, you bring your child to God. Listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Whoever of you loves life and desires to see many good days, keep your tongue from evil, keep your lips from telling lies, turn from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. Do not cry alone to yourself in your bedroom. Cry to God. He is listening. Cry to God. Don't hide your hurt from him. He's not watching you like a security guard waiting to catch you out. He's watching you like a parent to make sure you're safe, to make sure you're okay. Cry out to God. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to blot out their name from the earth. There will be justice. There will be vindication. Those hurts you've received, God knows about them. He knows about them. The righteous cry out and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles, whatever they are. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. Thank God, because that's me. That's you. I think that's all of us. I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I suspect we would all have our hands in the air. Life will break us. And saves those who are crushed in spirit. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Please stand and pray with me. So, Lord God, I thank you that we can bring our worst to you. That you don't desire just our best. You don't desire those bits of ourselves that we're happy to have on display, but you want to know the reality of our hearts. And I thank you that we can cry to you, we can stand naked before you, known by you, and find forgiveness, and find love, and find safety, and find that we lack nothing. And Lord, this year, as we come and stand before you, I ask for healing for us. I ask for wholeness of life this year. And I ask that we will see that you are good. That our eyes will see the coming kingdom of the Lord. And I pray this in Jesus' holy name. Amen.